What's up, y'all? How you doing? I'm back home in Atlanta, Georgia. I just wanted to bring your attention to something that I find very interesting. Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey is catching hell because he is supporting Kamala Harris. And he is being called, a sellout. Dr. Umar Johnson says that he was given money to support Kamala Harris. He's he's calling out Dr. Umar Johnson he's calling out Steve Harvey, Ricky Smiley, as well as Stephen A. Smith, saying that they have, for whatever reason, I guess monetary reasons, they have come out in support of Kamala Harris. I don't know whether that's true or not. Dr. Umar says that he was offered $10,000 from Kamala Harris's campaign to support Kamala Harris and to go on his social media and promote Kamala Harris, and he turned it down. And he's saying Steve Harvey and the others, they got a similar deal like that, to the point where Steve Harvey had to come out and actually speak to this. Now, the reason why I find this interesting is because in 2016, when the election was over and Donald Trump became the president, Donald Trump invited Steve Harvey to Trump Tower for a meeting. And Steve Harvey went, which I think he should have. I mean, Steve Harvey is a prominent figure in America. Steve Harvey also has a program down here in Atlanta for young men during the summer where they get counseling and they do a lot of things with young men. It's a very good program from what I've been able to find out about it. So to be called to the president's house, or what they call, at that time it was, the Trump Tower was called White House North or something like that before he got into the White House. He wanted Steve Harvey to come see him, and Steve Harvey went, and the black community turned on Steve Harvey. They were like, how dare you go speak to Trump? And he was trying to explain, like, hey, the man is the president now. He wanted to have some words with me, and I went to speak to the president. What's the big deal? But the black community, his audience, who many of them had Trump derangement syndrome, could not understand why Steve Harvey would go and speak to Donald Trump. I understood perfectly well why. The man is president. Steve Harvey wants to do things for people. He has programs for young people, and here's the president saying, hey, come see me, what you need, right? Let's do something together. Steve Harvey had to apologize for going to see President Trump. He had to placate the ridiculous people with TDS that were trying to cancel him because he took a meeting with Donald Trump. Now, the irony of this is that now he supports Kamala Harris, which is what he probably thought was going to be politically correct amongst his audience. And now they're calling him a sellout because he's supporting Kamala Harris, which is crazy. And it just goes to show, don't try to placate these people. Don't try to make these people happy. They're not going to be happy. Do things from what you feel is right. Just don't do things to be a clout chaser, to say like, okay, my audience, being that Kamala Harris is running for president, I'm going to support her now, thinking that that's going to be all right, because times have changed, as you've seen, and black people are not a monolith. Black people do not all think alike. All black people are not voting for Kamala Harris. And why are we taking advice from comedians anyway? Ricky Smiley, um, um, Stephen A. Smith, who is a sportscaster, um, Steve Harvey, who's a comedian. I mean, really, are we supposed to be taking advice from people who are in the entertainment business who are, already wealthy. They're going to be fine no matter what happens, no matter who's president, you know. And I would not be surprised if these celebrities are being paid by Kamala Harris's campaign. You remember all the money she raked in, all the hundreds of millions of dollars. As soon as they announced that Biden was dropping out, all this money started flowing into the campaign. Where do you think that money's going? It's going to the people that are out here promoting Kamala Harris. Whether it be celebrities or Facebook influencers or even the media. I mean, the media benefits from the ad revenue that comes in promoting these candidates. So if they want the ad revenue, they're going to say, okay, this is a safe place to send your money so we can promote you. So the money aspect has a lot to do with Kamala Harris's surge. It's not real. It's astroturf. It's not grassroots. It's something that they've created with the money, and they've tried to make it seem as though everybody's so in love with Kamala Harris, even though we know that she's not very likable, that even when she ran for president during 2020, she didn't get a single vote, she didn't get a single delegate, and she had to drop out after her debate fiasco when Tulsi Gabbard tore her a new one. So now all of a sudden we're supposed to all be in love with her. And the reason why I say that Steve Harvey is clout chasing is because when I heard him speak on this issue, he says, well, I'm supporting Kamala Harris because she's the best candidate. That's it. He didn't elaborate. He didn't go into policy. He didn't go into experience. He didn't go into track record. He didn't do anything. And that's typical of people that support Kamala Harris. They don't go into details about why or the reasons why they agree with what she has done or what she is planning to do, because they really don't know what she is planning to do, because she hasn't said anything. A few weeks ago, I came and did a video, and it was right after a press conference that Donald Trump had. Donald Trump had a press conference for an hour in front of the press, and he answered all their questions, and they asked him about the debate. And he told them that, yeah, I'm willing to do the debate. Matter of fact, I have confirmed 3 dates for debates. September 4th and Fox News, September 10th with NBC, and September 25th with CBS. And I said then, when I made the video about his announcement that he made in front of the press conference, that we won't see 3 debates. I said we may not see any debates, but if we do see a debate, it's going to be the one on September 10th with NBC, because NBC is very partial to Kamala Harris, and that's friendly territory. They're not going to ask her any hard questions. They'll probably give her all the questions ahead of time, So she's going to do that debate, but she will not do the Fox debate, and she's not going to do the 25th debate. And sure enough, what do we have? We only have the September 10th debate on the horizon that she is not really wanting to do. She's trying to change the rules now. She's saying, she wants to be able to have some sort of written opening statement, I think, or she doesn't want the mics turned off in between each person's time to speak, which was one of the rules that they had during the Biden debate, that the mics were turned off if the other candidate was speaking. She wants to change that up now, because she knows that she cannot go toe-to-toe in a debate setting with Trump. So now she wants to get out of it. She's going to say, he didn't agree to the terms and he's afraid of me. But Trump already said he has confirmed the 3 dates with the networks prior to, her even consenting to this debate right here. He had already agreed to these debates. So she's the one that's running from him, okay? And she's scheduled to do her first interview since she has taking over for Biden. And guess where she's going to do the interview at? On CNN. Of course. And I predicted that too. I said that she would not go on an impartial interview with an impartial reporter and face tough questions. She's going on CNN with Dana Bash, who has been one of the biggest advocates for Kamala Harris and one of the biggest opponents to Donald Trump. And she has the nerve to call herself a journalist. She's a political operative, and they know that, and she's going to be friendly to Kamala, and that's why she wants to go on CNN. It is what it is, okay? You're not going to learn anything. They're just going to have a love fest. And the other thing, she's going to bring her vice president with her. Okay, she's not going to sit down one-on-one with Dana Bash. She's going to have Tim Walz with her on the debate. On the interview. So now he's going to be interjecting and getting into the discussion. So you're only going to hear a little bit from Kamala, and they're going to be talking over each other and smiling and laughing with each other so much that you're not going to get any details. And she's not going to talk about anything other than Trump, okay? And abortion. Of course, that's the only issue they have, like, oh, abortion this and abortion that. That's it. So I'm going to tune in, but it doesn't really make sense for me even tune in because I know what they're going to say. All right? So I just wanted to kick it with y'all about Steve Harvey. Now, I just wanted to be said, I like Steve Harvey. I've been a big fan of his for a long time. I used to listen to his radio show like every morning when I used to take my son to school. When he was in grade school, we used to sit in the car. We used to listen to Steve Harvey. We used to laugh. Steve Harvey can be kind of racy sometimes. He talks about some things on his radio show that are not really suitable for children. But I used to have my son in the car, and he's like 7, 8 years old, and we're listening to Steve Harvey as we're going to his school. And, some of the things are over my son's head, but some of the jokes he gets, and he's laughing. So one day, my mother, they were having some sort of event at the school, and my mother came with us to school that morning. And so, I know my mother's very particular about what we listen to in front of our young son at the time. So I'm like, okay, I can't play Steve Harvey because Steve Harvey may say something very racy, and my mother's here, and she's gonna, have an issue with that. So I'm not gonna play Steve Harvey. So we're in the car driving to the school, and my son says, "Hey, Dad, why don't you put on Steve Harvey?" Because we listen to it every morning. So I'm like, oh, okay, all right. I turn on Steve Harvey, and I'm like, man, I hope Steve Harvey does not say something really racy, because my mom's in the car, and she's going to be like, why are you letting the boy listen to this? And so Steve Harvey says, there was some issue in the news where these young people had attacked a senior citizen, right? And Steve Harvey was on the radio when I turned it on, and he was talking about that. And he said, you young boys, you out here starting trouble, beating on people, robbing people. Well, let me tell you this. Leave the senior citizens alone. Leave the old people alone. Now, if y'all want to do whatever y'all want to do to each other, then y'all go ahead, but y'all leave the senior citizens alone. And my mother was like, yeah, that's right. And I'm sitting in the front going, yes, Steve Harvey, yes. So he saved me that day. And, I've been a big fan of his since Kings of Comedy. Even before that, I've watched his television shows. I think the guy is tremendous. He does charitable work down here in Atlanta. He has a program for young boys. I think boys that are don't have fathers. I think he does a program during the summer for them. I'm sure that he did. I'm not sure he does. I don't know why he still wouldn't have that program every summer. So I really have a lot of respect for him. He's a very hard-working entertainer. But the political aspect of it, I think he should stick to his guns and go from the heart. Don't try to placate these people. Don't chase clout. Don't try to do things just because you think that your audience is going to like them. Do what you feel is right. If you want to meet with Trump, then you meet with Trump. If you want to support Kamala, support her, but tell us why. Don't just say because she's the best candidate, you know. And only thing I have to say about Steve Harvey and Kings of Comedy, Bernie Mac was my favorite. Sorry, Steve. Bernie Mac was funnier than Steve Harvey. I said it. It's out there. Live with it. So, thanks again for stopping by and checking me out. I took the flight back to Atlanta. I'll be here for a week or two. So until then, until next time, until I see you again, thanks for tuning in and checking me out. And peace and stay safe.